there is a physicist, Kardashev, no relation to
Kim.
He wrote about levels of civilization. By what means of energy do you command? And a level 1 civilization controls all the energy manifesting on your home planet. A level 2 would capture all the energy from its host star. And now you build a similar device that captures all the energy of all the stars in your galaxy. That'd be a level 3. And a level 4 would be all the energy of all the galaxies of all the universe. And there's a level 5, I think.
Yeah, that's called God.
God, okay. This is StarTalk Cosmic Queries edition. In fact, it's not just Cosmic Queries, it's Cosmic Queries Live. Chuck, I love doing it.
Oh, yeah, man. Very cool.
Yeah, it's live for people who are like streaming us live right now.
Yes, and those people are Patreon supporters, and so you can be one too. If you give us some money, you can be here with us virtually.
You got to pay for that? Okay.
Hey, no. Listen. Nothing wrong. We're worth it. We're worth it. We are worth it.
And it's also Cosmic Queries on the road. I'm in LA right now.
What are you doing?
And do you have any public talks?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, tonight in Riverside. And right leading up to on Friday, I'm in Oakland. I don't get to Oakland often enough.
Okay. Make sure you wear that bulletproof vest.
Would you stop?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oakland ain't no joke, man.
Plus, they're angry because they just lost 3 professional teams or something.
Oh, man, it's terrible. I know. And the Raiders, come on. Like, I still call them the Oakland Raiders. I don't care. So, yeah. So they're especially ornery, okay? So watch out.
So today is grab bag for us, right? What you got?
Here we go. I got them right here.
And if I don't know the answer, I'll just say I don't know the answer. Just be clear about that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. All right, here we go. This is Smitty West. Smitty. He says, "Hey, dudes, it's Smitty from Ojai, California. A new Patreon member."
Dude, it's dude.
Oh, that's true. It's really like, dudes.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, dudes.
Thank you. That's surely what the man sounds like.
That's what he sounds like. Absolutely. New Patreon member with my very first question. And this is what he says. "It seems gravity is the bastard force in nature. Speculation continue as to whether it's a force, a field, waves, or particles. Now that LIGO has detected gravity waves, I was wondering, could you somehow aim those waves at a double slit like the Thomas Young experiment of 1801? And what would it show? And what would the slit be made of? Would it show particle-wave duality? I'll share the Nobel Prize with you guys."
That is a brilliant question. That takes what we know and takes some other bits that we know and tries to put them together into some future idea. And that's what good scientific thinking will do.
Way to go, Smitty.
So my answer is, I have no idea. Okay, because the waves, right? So let's back up for a minute. So we know there's the wave particle duality. You may have heard about that. And every particle in nature has a wavelength associated with it. And you can think of the particle, as a physical particle, or as a wave, depending on the experiment you conduct. Right? It will manifest as a wave and will have wave interference. All right. If you have a wave, and it can, wave interference means if the crests and the troughs match up, it cancels out the wave. And if the crest and the crest match up, it'll amplify the wave. But you can watch wave-like phenomenon happen with these particles when you put them through the right experiment. So Smitty, was it Smitty?
Smitty, my man.
Smitty's asking the right question. We have gravitational waves.
Right.
Is there a double slit experiment that we can imagine for which these would then reveal that they behave just the way other particles do? So if there's such a thing as quantum gravity, we expect there to be the graviton,
which is the particle that would make up gravity.
the particle. So the graviton is to gravity what the photon is
To light.
to light, or electromagnetic
Force.
light.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if there were such a thing as a graviton, how would you detect it?
Right.
And because that implies that you trapped it, right?
Right.
When you detect something, it existed over there. Now it's in my detector.
Right.
So how are you going to trap gravity? What does that even mean, right? Now, is the gravity in the? It's like in the Ghostbusters, you know?
Right. Yeah. You have it down in it, and now it's just in a little rectangular box.
It's a little rectangle with a handle on it.
Right, with a handle on it.
And what happens if you open it? What does the gravity do? So
Right.
I can't even begin to think about what that would mean and how you would go about that experiment. So I'm gonna have to put that in the holding bin. So yeah, I wish I had a better answer, but we learned from the German poet Rainer Maria Rilke. One of his poems has a line: "Learn to love the questions themselves."
Ooh, now see, that's a man who had no answers. That's what that was. She was like, "Now, where have you been all night?" He was like, "Sweetie, I'm just learning to love your question. I didn't want to talk about where I was. I just want to reflect on the beauty of the question you just asked me. That's yes." All right, here we go.
All right, next. Thanks,
All right.
Smitty, for that.
This is David Robertson, and David says, "G'day, Neil and Lord Nice, the butcher of Aussie accents." Oh, thanks. I really should read these ahead of time. Yeah. David
Is he Aussie?
Alsbury. He's Aussie.
Okay.
Clearly he is. He goes, David Alberry here. He doesn't tell me where he's from in Australia, but he says, if the singularity of a black hole is a moment in time, can I escape if I bring my time machine? By the way, you guys have a great show.
Yeah. So the answer is yes, yes, yes. Okay. So let's back into that. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say though. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I'm listening.
Okay. So let's have the surface of my desk. Let's say, and
Right.
I put an ant on the desk,
Okay.
and then I draw a box, a rectangular box on the desk. It was a little door. Okay. And I say, ant, go through the door. So it goes through the door, and then I shut the door on it. Okay? Now, the ant has no access to a third dimension, just in this example. The ant is living in the 2 dimensions of my desk surface. Just picture that.
So up does not exist for the ant.
They don't even have a word for up in this example. You
Exactly.
go left, you go right, forward, back.
Backwards. That's it. Right.
That's it. So I open a little hinge door. The ant walks in and goes out. Okay? Okay. So the ant looks trapped. But we, higher dimensional beings, live in 3 spatial dimensions, say, just step up and go and step over the wall. Okay? That's not really a prison for you. Just go into this extra dimension we have supplied for you.
Right.
And then you can escape. And the ant is looking at us like, what are you smoking? Okay? Fine. So now let's up that. Let's just up that to a prison cell.
Okay.
Where it's not just a rectangle or square that surrounds you.
Okay.
It's a wall on all sides, a floor, a ceiling, and 4 vertical walls. Okay? Somebody opens the jail cell, puts you in, and then closes the jail cell.
I'm sorry. First of all, as a black man, I do not like where this is going.
It's okay. All right, let me think of another. Okay, you're a place you don't want to be. Okay?
All right.
And somebody locked the door. How's that? Is that a little better?
That's much better. Thank
A
you.
little better. Okay. So now you say, well, how do I get out? Well, a 4th dimensional person will just say, step into the 4th dimension.
Right.
That's the way which arguing with the ant to step into the third dimension. You say, I don't have access to the fourth dimension. I
Right.
don't even know what that means. I don't know what your word for up means when that takes you into your fourth dimension. So we can say that. All right. Now, you've all heard that time is a fourth dimension.
Right.
You've heard that.
All the time.
All
Yeah.
so
See what I did
it's
there?
not a spatial dimension, but it's nonetheless a dimension.
Right.
So if you were in your enclosure and you had a time machine, you could go back in time before you were in
In the
room.
enclosure. Right.
and escape the room without ever opening the door.
Look at that.
Okay? So time acts like an authentic dimension for you if you want to be someplace other than where you are without having to go through whatever was the procedure to arrive there in the first place. So if you're in a black hole, it doesn't have to be a singularity in time. It just has to be a singularity. You're inside the black hole. You say, I don't like it here. Get me
Right.
the hell out.
Right.
Go in your time machine and just simply return. Go back to the future.
Right.
No, you just simply go back in time or forward in time if you happen
Right.
to know that there was a point where you were sprung loose by some, higher dimensional being.
Yeah. By evaporation. When you get there, there's nothing. There's no
Oh,
universe
you
left.
mean like Hawking.
Like Hawking radiation. Yeah,
Evaporation.
yeah.
You don't want to be evaporated out of the black hole. That's no good.
That's true. Yeah, that's not good. Right. Maybe backwards is a better.
Yeah, you want to come out intact on that.
Yeah.
So that would be how you would escape. Using time as a fourth dimension, you just go back before you entered the room. I know that's not as romantic or as fascinating as other sort of elements of physics, but it would work entirely for you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mhm.
All right. Well, way to go, David. Appreciate that, and thanks for disparaging my Aussie accent. I appreciate that. Here we
Which I
go.
think it's pretty good, but who am I to judge? I'm just
I mean, listen, it's like, first of all, I mean, how many of me are you going to meet in Australia anyway? So, all right. So, quite frankly, if I was in Australia and you met me and I was like, "G'day, mate," you would be like, "That guy's faking." So, get ready to leave the world behind, because on Paramount Plus, Star Trek Strange New Worlds is back for an all-new season of genre-bending adventures, romance, mystery, action, space zombies, special guests. This show is going where no show has gone before. One show, infinite adventures. Don't miss the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, premiering July 17th with new episodes on Thursdays only on Paramount Plus. All right, this is Ted Doyle. He says, "Hello, Dr. Tyson, Lord Nice. I love you guys, and greetings from Southern Idaho. I am
Ooh,
Theodore.
Idaho.
Idaho. Lord Nice, if you're delivering the question, my name is pronounced Theodore. Okay. Really, bro? Come on. Anyway, he says, that was uncalled for, by the way. Okay. That was, he says, my question is, if a plasma-propelled spacecraft is chugging along to its destination, at what point must it start deceleration? 50%, 70%, 90%, to avoid crashing and burning at touchdown?
Yeah. So generally, the way we think about this problem is it's a halfway point.
Halfway.
So in a plasma propulsion, plasma is a gas where it's a charged gas. So in other words, the atoms that are normally complete with their protons in the nucleus and the appropriate number of electrons to match, because electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, atoms are neutral. Yeah, if you kick off the electrons, now the atom is no longer neutral, and the whole gas will respond to magnetic fields. I mean, it's a fascinating phenomenon. The sun is a big ball of plasma, and that's why it's got it's got sunspots. It's not just a gas sitting there minding its own business. There's phenomenon occurring in it. So a plasma rocket is set up so that it kicks out particles, charged particles out the back. And so what does your spacecraft do in response?
It moves forward.
It goes
Right.
forward. It recoils, correct. So when you are a plasma, you can react to magnetic fields, electric fields, and you can do things with it and do very fascinating things. Like you can become a star with a turbulent surface such as is our sun. So with a plasma rocket, one of the charged particles is channeled so that it gets kicked out the back. And one of Newton's laws of motion is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Action was his word for force. So and in this case, you kick something out the back, there's momentum going out that way, you recoil in the other direction. Your acceleration is slow.
Right.
Okay. Because how much is your ship going to recoil if you send an electron out the back?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. However, you could do this if it's a long journey. You just keep accelerating. Okay. And once you get an acceleration that you like, maybe 1G, then on the ship, your journey is at 1G. So you feel like you're standing on Earth.
Right.
You don't need special exercise equipment to not lose your bone mass. You don't need special medical devices.
Because that is the force that's being enacted upon you, right?
Yeah. And Einstein made the brilliant observation that 1G on Earth from gravity is indistinguishable from a 1G acceleration in a rocket.
Okay.
Indistinguishable. And we gotta go there because we're already there.
Okay.
80% there. You ready?
Go
you ready
for it.
this? Okay. So if you're in a rocket and you're accelerating, it means every next moment you are traveling faster than the previous moment.
Right.
So a constant acceleration means your speed is increasing.
The entire time.
The entire time. Okay,
Right.
so now watch. So if you take a beam of light and turn it on one side of the rocket and have it just cross the rocket, okay? You'd say, well, if the rocket isn't moving, it'll just go exactly across to the other side. Take a laser, just go straight line. But if the rocket is accelerating, it means the rocket is moving faster by the time the light got to the other destination than it was when the light was emitted.
Mm-hmm.
Which means the light will not hit the spot directly across where you turned on the laser. It'll hit slightly below because the whole rocket was accelerating. That whole time. It was moving. Okay. Einstein said, that's interesting because if accelerating a rocket is physically and mathematically and cosmically the same as gravity, then gravity ought to bend the path of light.
Damn. Wow. I mean, that's a serious leap.
Yes. It's called the equivalence principle.
Lovely.
The equivalence of gravitational acceleration and physical acceleration through space.
Wow.
So I had to go there because we were too close to. There's some low hanging fruit.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing to go to.
Yeah. So that was the equivalence principle in 1915 that Einstein put forth to become the foundation of the general theory of relativity. All right. So now watch. So here we are. So you get up your acceleration until you're going at 1G.
Okay.
And so you're living on the back end of the rocket. Okay. So all your couches and beds and things are up against that's where you're not on the sides because it's not a rotating rocket.
Right.
Okay. It's not like you could maybe, but if you're moving the whole thing and you're accelerating it, you're going to feel that. And so you're going to be walking around in the bottom of the rocket.
Right.
So the way we generally think of this problem is you accelerate at 1G half the distance.
Right.
Then you turn the ship around and decelerate at 1G.
Okay, because
for the other half the distance. And a deceleration is the same as an acceleration. You're just now walking on a different side of the ship.
Right.
Okay? And there you have it. And you get to live in 1G the entire way. And by the time you get there, you would arrive at zero velocity. Okay?
Right.
because now you're slowing down with 1g acting in the opposite direction it was before. So that's how we would think of these long trips with the acceleration that builds.
Yeah. And that's a really cool thing. And it's,
And you arrive at zero velocity.
yeah,
The whole trip is symmetric.
there's a show, I think it's on Amazon, I'm not sure, but it's called The Expanse, and they make very good use of that principle in the show.
Oh.
They show
No, I've
all.
seen Expanse. Let me go
Yeah.
back and remind myself of those
Yeah, when
moments.
you watch it,
There's a lot of good physics in the Expanse.
it is, and
Yeah.
one of the great physics points that they don't ever acknowledge, but they show, is a ship going towards a planet, and you're looking at the rockets in the front while it's going towards the planet.
Yes, because it's slowing down
Because
the whole
it's
time.
slowing down the whole time.
Correct. And you see ships turn around
Right.
to reorient their rockets.
Exactly.
And you know what else they get correct? If you're in a 1g acceleration, you are not weightless at
Right.
any time in that ship. Okay?
Exactly.
Whereas in the movie Ad Astra with Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, okay, just everybody in space was weightless even when they were firing their rockets. Everybody just floating around. I said, dudes, come on, please. Please take some lessons from The Expanse.
Oh man.
So in The Expanse, just to catch people up, it's a futuristic tale where humans have populated the solar system.
Yeah.
And evolved in those
And we're
very
still
systems.
awful.
Then we're still
That's just there it is.
there's the whole geopolitical or cosmopolitical dimension to this, where the belters appear. They're like the low class workers who
Right.
are mining the asteroid belt, and then there's the
Martians who are very
But they're all human,
erudite.
but they're
Right.
physiologically different
Right.
in ways that accommodate life on those places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Ah, that's very cool. I'm glad Ted asked the question. Theodore. Okay. All right, here is this is Jason Bennett. And Jason says, I've always wondered what would happen if Neil and Chuck never met. Would any of us or any of this exist?
Ooh. Okay, so
Oh, geez.
okay, so I have a reply.
Go ahead.
I think about this often. This is the contingencies of life. All right. There was a TV series. What was the dude's name? It was called Connections. Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, yes, you do. He wrote a book called Connections. Then he had a very successful TV. It was a Brit. And so it sounded all,
Yeah.
erudite.
Well, yeah,
because he was
exactly.
a
Welcome to
Brit.
Connections. It's like, right. I'm terribly pretentious, and that's what you actually like. Yeah, exactly.
So what he would do is he would find chance encounters between historical figures that would lead to something that would be transformative in our civilization. And then you'd say, "Oh,
cool.
no, it's cool." And I'm amazed he could assemble that many encounters.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the whole show revolved around Kevin Bacon.
Yes, every show would land with Kevin Bacon. We all know Kevin Bacon.
Exactly.
So, right. If Chuck and I never met, and by the way, how do we meet Chuck? In the early days of StarTalk, we'd go trolling, back when trolling was not a bad word, trolling comedy clubs.
Correct.
And we would look to see who was in the open mic night, because we know we wanted comedy as an element, as part of the DNA of what we were trying to create. And so we would invite comedians to come try out with us. Not so much a tryout, but just to have a, what do you call it when you just
A meet and greet.
no, yeah, and they'll do a show with us just to see. We'll feel them out. And Chuck was one of such people, if memory serves. Is that your memory of this too? Because it's so long ago at this point.
It was 15 years ago. So, yeah. I mean, I think that was it. But somebody called me and said Neil deGrasse Tyson would like you to come to his office, and I thought it was my friend with me. I'm sorry. Oh, pardon my language. I forgot we're doing a show. Yeah, I thought it was a buddy of mine messing with me. And yeah, but then, yeah, that's what happened. And we met, and you were like, yeah, well, let's see if we can get you back in and just see how it works out. We'll do one We'll do one show together.
So what's missing a little bit here in that retelling is you already had experience on radio.
Yeah, I had years of experience in radio, so I was cheating compared to the other comedians.
Comedians who are just sort of comedians, right?
Yeah.
You actually know how to flow a conversation.
Yeah.
You know how to end a sentence so that the other person knows you just ended a sentence. And
Right.
It's time for them to start speaking. There's a whole dynamic there that would not otherwise be obvious. So that's how that. So here's what you have to ask. And who's the person again who asked?
This is Jason Bennett.
Okay. So here's what he's got to ask. Okay. He's got to ask. It's not what would happen if you and I never met.
Mm-hmm.
It's what would happen had I met someone better. That's an option. That's in the space of possibilities.
Right? It's in the slim space of possibilities.
So the people say, "Oh, look how lucky I am because this happened and I had this opportunity and I met this person in their life." It could be a career trajectory or a loved one, and you will never know if your life could have been even better.
Correct.
So, given that it could go either way, because I think about this often, I simply embrace what is rather than imagine what might have been.
Ooh.
Because then you work with what is, because that anchors you in reality.
Well, there you have it, Jason. What he just said is he settled for Chuck Nice. So that's funny.
All right, what else you got?
Here we go. This is Kylie.
Oh, wait. Let me back up for a sec.
Go ahead.
So with this fellow who had that show Connections, what he doesn't talk about in this same vein is if that connection wasn't made, would a different connection have been made that would have been a better outcome? Or would another connection have been made that would have had the same outcome?
Right.
He's dangling you there, leaving you to think that the whole world exists on this delicate pathways of contingencies of who happened to meet whom, without thinking some progress in civilization would have been inevitable no matter who
made it. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So stay broad in how you think about contingencies, and then you lead a more sane life.
So true. I like it. This is Kylie Roning, who says, "Hello, Dr. Tyson, Lord Nice. Kylie from Kenora, Canada here."
Kylie from Kenora, Canada. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like a TV show.
It does. Kylie from Kenora, Canada. Yeah. By the way, Kylie, let me just say on behalf of America, we're sorry. Okay? All right. Jesus, we're just so sorry. She says, if humans were to be graded on our understanding of the universe, what grade do you think we should receive? Or put another way, what percentage of the universe do you think we humans actually understand?
Oh, no, we know that precisely. We know enough about the universe to quantify our ignorance. How about that?
Wow, look at that.
That's pretty good. That's good.
That's not bad. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's better than being Dunning-Kruger. You know what I mean? Like where we think we know everything and we really know nothing. We know enough to know that we are dumbasses. So that's pretty good.
Okay, so we now, by the way, we're still making discoveries, of course, and we're looking for a cure for cancer. So there are frontiers even within the realm of what we know. So I'm going to quantify our ignorance in a more profound way than just simply, do we know how to cure cancer? Okay. The fact is we know that there's a thing called cancer and it does what we don't want it to do in our bodies. And we have top people working on it. That's a frontier, but that's not the frontier I'm talking about, because all of that is operating within the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So now, if you look at everything that we have mastery of, you know, the molecules and atoms and gravity and all of this, okay? And you look at what's driving the universe, everything you learn about in school in science, like I said, the laws of physics, chemistry, biology, evolution, planet forming, star forming, all of this is 4% of the universe.
Wow.
We see things going on in the universe. We can measure them, and we have no
idea
what it is. And I'll tell you what we know it is. It's dark matter and dark energy.
That's it.
That's it. Those two things are operating on our physical universe, and you can sort of weigh them if you like as to how consequential are these things in the universe that we call dark matter and dark energy. It is 96% of what's driving this universe, and we have no idea what's causing it. But the 4% we do know, that's life, that's civilization, that's transportation, that's skyscrapers, that's dams that we build. All the rest of that, it's agriculture. Is all the rest of that are the laws of physics that we know and understand. And so who knows what kind of profound advances will come about once we
know 5%. That's when we'll be smart.
So here's an interesting thing. How do we know that even when we learn that other 96%, that just doesn't simply put us on a new vista where we get to look out and see even more ignorance?
And that's probably what's going to happen.
I'm thinking. Yeah. And who is to say that we are intelligent enough to actually understand the universe? Here we are, human beings evolved on the plains of the Serengeti, just trying to not get eaten by lions. So we develop a sensibility for that. All right. A lion runs at you, you run the other direction. You climb up a tree. This is survival things. And now we're trying to contemplate the cosmos. This is a mismatch of physiology, of neurophysiology. And so the idea that we are smart enough to understand the universe, there's a little bit of hubris in there, I would say.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, would an alien judge us as being intelligent? And I think not, particularly when they see some, as you say, dumbass behavior.
Oh, God. On. Yeah. I mean, basically, they would come here and say, these people are hell-bent on destroying themselves. Like, that would be the number one takeaway when you look at us as a species.
They can't possibly be smart for that reason, if for no other.
Right. If for no other. Yeah.
Right. All right.
All right, here we go. This is the artist formerly known as James Smith. He says, hello, James Smith here from Indianapolis. So, Neil, can't we agree that it's Brian Greene's fault that the universe will not end in fire, but in ice? He's supposed to be figuring out what's causing the expansion of the universe. Or do we need to let him off the hook and become a level 3 civilization on the Kardashev Scale to do that? Love you guys and have a great day.
Man, he's calling out Brian Greene.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know what Brian did to you, man.
So, yeah, the expansion of the universe derives initially from the Big Bang, but there's also this dark energy phenomenon in the vacuum of space that is accelerating the expansion of the universe against the wishes of gravity. All the collective gravity of all the galaxies in the universe, even the dark matter, what we call dark matter, because that has gravity, all of that wants to slow down the universe and maybe one day recollapse us. However, we have a dark energy phenomenon going on that is accelerating the expansion of the universe, and we don't know what's causing it. We don't understand it. We want to, and you can't blame Brian Greene for that. And as we expand, the temperature of the universe drops. Hence the notion the universe, so Chuck, ask, how will the universe end?
Neil, how will the universe end?
Not in fire, but in ice. Yes.
Right.
So, yeah, you can't blame Brian Greene. Don't shoot the messenger there, because we need the messengers.
Very cool.
Now, about the level 3 civilization. So let's remind people that there was a physicist, Kardashev, no relation to
Kim.
The Kardashians, okay? So Kardashev he thought about and wrote about levels of civilization, measured not by how smart you are, not by how nice you are, but by what means of energy do you command, do you control.
Wow.
Okay? And a level 1 civilization controls all the energy manifesting on your home planet. So that would be like the hurricanes and the tornadoes and the earthquakes and the tides. We would somehow find a way to tap that energy
and harness it.
To harness it for our own means, for our own diabolical, for our own means. That'd be a level 1 civilization. A level 2 would capture all the energy from its host star. We capture some of it with our like solar panels on the roof or whatever.
Right, exactly.
But sunlight is hitting every square inch of Earth's surface. Okay. Well, when it's not hitting our surface, it's hitting the tops of clouds. But Earth is intersecting a cross section of the sun's energy that would otherwise go into empty space, but Earth was in the way.
Right.
Okay. Well, how about that same amount of energy that went by Earth and went above and below in every other direction in space? That's a lot of sunlight. So if you build a system where you capture all of that energy of your host star, channel it down to your civilization, now you have a badass civilization level 2.
Wow. That's level 2?
That's only level 2, right? And I think, level 2. And now you build a similar device that captures all the energy of all the stars in your galaxy.
Okay.
That'd be a level 3. And a level 4 would be all the energy of all the galaxies of all the universe. That'd be level 4. And there's a level 5, I think.
Yeah, that's called God.
God, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. God on the Kardashev scale.
That's it. God on the Kardashev scale. That's all there is to it. That's
so
crazy.
Do we command the energy of hurricanes or tornadoes? Or no, we run away from them. We buy, toilet paper and run away from earthquakes and tornadoes and volcanoes. And so we're not even at level 1 civilization, we're level 0.
Look at that. Yeah, we're number 0. Yeah.
So if we control all the energy of all the universe, maybe even the dark energy, then we can control the expansion of the universe.
Right.
For our own needs, for our own desires.
Yeah, that's too much power for anybody to have, especially us.
No, but that'd be the future where you have wars between the universes in the multiverse.
That's true. Yeah. I don't, I'm not joining that army. I don't care. I'm not doing it.
But at that point, all the life forms in our universe would be aligned with each other because our enemies would be whole other universes if we're all level 4 civilizations.
Yeah, but, the way it normally works is you're working with the people to defeat a common enemy while you're plotting to destroy them as soon as you defeat the common enemy. That's
the playbook.
That's the playbook, So, yeah.
The human playbook.
Yeah.
But here would be interesting. You know how to mess with another universe? If you have the power, maybe level 5 power, to change the laws of physics.
Okay, now you're just diabolical.
No, think, because if you just slightly change the charge on the electron, then all solid matter would just disassemble.
Oh, you just Thanos a whole universe. Oh man, that's crazy. That's insane.
By the way, I don't generally have those. I'm a peaceful person. This is that question drove me to these insane thoughts. Yes. So Chuck, time for 2 or 3 more. So what do you have?
All right. Here we go. This is Isabella. She says, hi, Dr. Tyson and Lord Nice. Isabella and Sierra from Ogden, Utah. Our question is, what would our solar system look like if we had an extra planet, either terrestrial or gaseous? And what would the implications of this be? Can a planet that can't be demoted, R.I.P. Pluto, 1930 to 2006, thanks to Neil Tyson.
Implicate me that way? I was an accessory. I didn't pull the trigger.
All right. So
But I
anyway,
did drive the getaway car. I did drive the getaway
that's true.
car.
So Planet X, I mean,
No, so a couple of things.
I kind of feel like we get this in the news
No, I
every
got
once
this.
in
Here
a
we go.
while. Okay.
Here's my colleague who works just up on the 6th floor of the Row Center. My office is on the 5th floor, which is not where I am right now. I'm in a hotel in Los Angeles. Steve Soder, who, by the way, co-wrote the original Cosmos with Carl Sagan and the first of my two Cosmoses. He co-wrote those. Okay?
Wow.
Brilliant guy. Brilliant in history and science, and he's fundamentally a solar system guy. He wrote a research paper that demonstrated that the planets we now have, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, in their locations, is the maximum number of planets you can fit into the orbital space of this solar system. If you put another planet in of any size, Jupiter-like or otherwise, the gravitational fields of the other orbiting planets would wreak havoc on its orbit, and it would either crash into a pre-existing planet, crash into the sun, or be ejected from the solar system.
Thrown out.
Gotcha. So we are so mature as a system, 4.5 billion years, 5 billion years old, that all the shaking out that was going to happen has happened in the solar system.
Gotcha.
So if we're going to find another planet, it would have to be way beyond Neptune,
Right.
where there isn't this orbital dynamics creating the stability zones of what we now accept as the 8-planet solar system.
Gotcha. So it's all about the pulling and the tugging. And ours,
because it's happening at all times.
It's always happening. So ours is done. All the pulling and the tugging it is what it is.
Yeah, there's some long-term instabilities, we think, like on billions of years timescales, but by and large, we're stable. And it would go unstable if you just brought in another planet.
Nice.
So all this searching for another planet, Planet 9, Planet X, that's all happening well beyond even deep into the Kuiper Belt.
Right.
Yeah.
It would have to. Okay, very cool, man. I love that question. That was
that's
really
good.
This is aspiring scientific journalist, also a cow, who writes that was the title there. It says, if I rotate a proton fast enough, can I create a black hole? And if so, let's assume I spin it to create an event horizon of 1 meter or 1 kilometer. How could a Hawking radiation dissolve it? Or will it just go all at once? Where does the spin go? And I'm going to put on the end of that, my man, you need to get some help for your drug problem. Okay? It's all fun and games until somebody blows out a mind. And a mind is a terrible thing to waste, sir. Okay, anyway.
Okay, I have to reassemble the bits and pieces of that question into a question that has sort of physical meaning and coherence. So just because you spin something has nothing to do with whether it becomes a black hole. They're
Right.
unrelated.
It's all about mass.
It's all about mass. It's all about mass. That's A. B, a proton is not a fundamental particle. Okay? A proton is composed of quarks. And so let's create that question, reassemble that question in a way that has meaning. If a black hole is evaporating by Hawking radiation, and let me remind people, the gravitational field just outside the event horizon has enough energy to spontaneously create particles, a matter-antimatter pair. And one particle drops into the black hole, the other one escapes. Where did this mass come from? It came from the gravitational field of the black hole. And the gravitational field comes from all the mass that is the black hole.
Damn.
Bro, this is the way that the matter that's inside. What, Chuck?
It's so freaking creepy, man. This is how black holes evaporate. It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. You have no idea, people. Okay.
And And the weird thing is, for me, because this was an emergent phenomenon that I then learned from my colleagues who work in this space, that if you inventory the particles that show up from the evaporated gravitational field, it is the same inventory of particles that the black hole ate over its entire life. Okay? So somehow the gravitational field remembered what outside the event horizon, remembered what got eaten and is living inside the event horizon.
So, wait a minute. Okay. So could that mean that maybe when the stuff falls in, the information stays at the event horizon?
Yeah, well, so this is the idea this is the holographic universe that people are talking about, that the event horizon is an imprint of all information that had passed through that boundary. All the information is contained.
I don't know what to believe anymore in anything. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Wait, no, where you go?
All right, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, these are edibles, damn it. That's what they are.
You just went and got edible?
I just went and got myself an edible. And yeah. That's insane.
Okay, so now here's what's going on. In the original Hawking radiation paper, what he was able to show is that the light that is the particle comes out, but you can associate a temperature of the black hole. Okay. Based on temperatures, at a temperature you radiate. Okay.
Right.
So he was able to analogize the evaporation of a black hole with a black hole of a certain temperature that's radiating. Okay.
Wow.
So as the black hole gets smaller and smaller, the radiative light, the wavelength gets smaller and smaller, and the wavelength is commensurate with the size of the black hole. Okay? That's the wavelength of light that's coming out of the system. So as the black hole gets smaller and smaller and smaller, the wavelength of light gets tinier and tinier and tinier. And when you have tiny wavelength of light, that light has higher and higher energy.
Right.
Energy. So you go from visible light to ultraviolet light, which will mess with your skin, to X-rays, which will mess with your DNA, to gamma rays, turn you into the Hulk. Okay? So what he showed was that as the black hole evaporates, it evaporates faster and faster, and the energy level of light that it emits gets higher and higher and higher, and it's a runaway process, and it's just a brief pop of light of pure gamma rays, and then the black hole is completely disappeared.
Gone.
So my point is, if you still like your proton is composed of quarks. That's what's fundamental. Okay? And so as the black hole is evaporating and you're holding on to your last proton and its quarks, I'm saying that's the last one, turn off the lights when you leave. All right? And it'll just evaporate back into our universe.
Crazy. Wow. Damn, that's a blova. That's a black hole nova.
Blova? Okay.
Yeah. I tried, man. I tried. Okay. I mean, but I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that's all the time we have, Chuck.
Oh, man, this was so much fun. I tell you, these people, they come up with some great questions, man.
Yeah. So this one, reminding people, we do these every now and then. It is a Cosmic Queries live with a live audience it's a one way they can receive our stream. And then guess what happens next? We end this taping and then we get their questions live.
From the sources themselves. These people are trying to put me out of a job.
Come in here. More to me than just someone who reads questions.
Okay. Well, that was very nice.
All right. So we got to land this plane. So Chuck, there it is. Another installment of Cosmic Queries.
This was a good one, man. I liked it.
It was a good one. It went everywhere with some good people out there asking questions.
Yeah.
Everyone, stay curious. It's the only way we grow as human beings and as a species.
Right. Yes.
This has been Cosmic Queries Grab Bag. Chuck, always good to have you.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Neil deGrasse Tyson bidding you to keep looking up.
Before we get into it, can you just let the people know, what is a black hole?
Black hole is a region of space where matter has condensed to such a high density that the gravity at its surface, the surface gravity, is so high that you cannot escape it, even at the speed of light. You are forever trapped. It is the fabric of the space-time continuum warped back on itself. And once you fall in, you are never coming out. It is the human version of the Roach Motel. You check in, but you don't check out. A black hole. That's why we call them black. And when you fall in, you don't come out. That's why we call it a hole. Because we tell it like it is in astrophysics. Black hole. Spin that wheel.
Daniel Junius wants to know, what happens when we fall into a black hole?
Ooh, you want to avoid that, first of all. Don't do that. Neither at home or at work or anywhere else. But if you happen to fall in a black hole, which is my preferred form of death, it's better than getting hit by a bus, right? So if you fall in a feet first dive to this cosmic abyss, you will not survive because you will not miss. The tidal forces of gravity will create quite a calamity when you're stretched head to toe. Are you sure you want to go? Those tidal forces will increase to the point where your body will just snap in two, likely at the base of the spine. Then each of those two pieces will snap into two. So you become 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 until you bifurcate all the way down to the center of the black hole. And you become a stream of atoms. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is you are funneled, extruded through the fabric of space-time so that you used to be this wide, now you're this narrow. And so this phenomenon, this extrusion like toothpaste through a tube, we have a word for it. Death by black hole is called spaghettification.
Spaghettification sounds like a meal to die for. See what I did there? Kill me.
We see all this activity in the center of the galaxy, stars orbiting a big dark area.
Right.
How do we know it's not just like the center of a hurricane? And the reason why we know that is because what we learned from Kepler and later Newton is the orbit that you have is the speed of your orbit is completely determined by the mass that's sitting inside your orbit. The mass around which you revolve.
Right.
So what you say is, here are these things, I can see how fast they're moving, run back to Kepler's equation and say there must be a mass, a huge mass, like bigger than the size of the orbit.
Wow.
Wait, and then you say, but wait a minute, we don't know anything that's that massive, that's smaller than the orbit, except for a black hole.
Gotcha.
Okay? So in other words, if it was a star with that much mass, it would be huge. Or
right.
some other thing, and you'd see it.
You'd see it, right.
You'd see a glowing thing.
Gotcha.
This is dark, and it has huge mass, and it's small. That's 3 smoking guns right there.
Right.
Implicating a supermassive black hole.
Supermassive black hole.
Yes. And our black hole is less massive than the one in the center of the Andromeda galaxy, our nearest big galaxy.
Do we have black hole envy?
Well, I think we do. Yeah, some black hole. So, but we're talking about hundreds of millions of times the mass of the sun. But it's a black hole, so it's small for that much mass.
Wow.
And so that's why. Oh, so we do it for our galaxy, then we do it for a neighboring galaxy.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
And we can't, no, other galaxies are far away, so ground-based telescopes, you can't see it, so we send up Hubble. And so we say, well, if we have it, and we're not really a special galaxy in the universe, and Andromeda has it, our nearest neighbor, maybe, this is astronomy think. These 2 galaxies have it, maybe every galaxy has it.
Right.
Okay? Because why should we be special?
Right.
It's called the Copernican principle. You're probably not special.
Right. Exactly. Copernicus, better known as my father. You're not so special. I don't know what you think, but go ahead.
Your father interacting with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So we hypothesize that maybe all galaxies have black holes. So you invoke Hubble, who can see farther away galaxies and measure the movements of stars down deep in the middle, and they were moving fast too.
Right.
And every next galaxy, and so we've now done enough. We're just resigned to the fact that every galaxy's got a black. Even some of the smaller galaxies that might not have, they got black holes.
They still have black holes, right?
So no, we haven't measured every one of the 100 billion galaxies in the universe, but every galaxy we measured, the big ones, the small ones,
It's like taking a poll.
yeah, except even better,
Right?
Because the universe doesn't have weird people living in back roads who think weird stuff. Well, actually, it might. The universe could have some weird galaxy that we've never discovered before.
Right.
Every galaxy that fits into a category of galaxies that we've observed, it's got a black hole of different masses. And the more massive the entire galaxy, then the more massive the black hole is.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's some that have billions of times the mass of the sun.
Damn.
As a black hole sitting in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got to stop for a second because I gotta understand something here.
Yeah.
I gotta understand something. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's the deal. What you're saying is everything that is Chuck goes into the black hole. So as you want to recreate or reconstruct the circumstance or anything about me that before I'm in there, but now that I'm in there, okay. What comes out, which would be the Hawking radiation and the evaporation of the black hole. That's what's coming out. But what's coming out is really nothing to do with, it's not a representation. It's not coming out. It's not a representation of me. It's materializing as opposed to exiting. And so since it's materializing as opposed to exiting, then what comes out is not necessarily related to me that went in.
It's even worse than that.
Oh,
the radiation.
Oh, sorry.
The radiation.
God. You got me. I'm like, oh, damn.
The radiation was never inside the black hole ever.
That's what I'm saying.
So what's happening? It doesn't come out. So what happens is there are these little quantum fluctuations that happen in empty space that are allowed because of uncertainty. Because uncertainty says you cannot precisely say a particle is there precisely, infinitely precisely. You also cannot say it's not there.
Okay, so is that the uncertainty principle that you were talking about?
That's the uncertainty principle. So that creates the possibility that particles just kind of create.
So it's popping out of thin air. Oh wait, there's no air in space.
Popping out of thin
space. Popping out of thin air.
Thin space.
Thin space.
Thin empty space. And what happens is the black hole, so they have to come in pairs, because if you think about empty space, it has to be also just completely bland and featureless. So I can't have an electron appearing, because it has charge and it has spin and it has all these properties. It has to come with a pair that cancels its charge and it neutralizes it completely. We call it neutralizing all its quantum numbers. So it has to come in pairs. And then it can go in and out of the vacuum and just creates a kind of quantum froth that we never notice.
Wait, just to be clear, that paired particle is antimatter.
Right.
Just to be clear.
It would be an antimatter particle, but you could also have it with two photons or two bundles of light, which the photon is its own antiparticle.
Right. Okay. Oh my God.
So the electron has a positron. So the electron and the positron can be created and then disappear. Light can be created. Any particle that exists in the universe has these fluctuations that we don't notice. It's happening in this room. It's just very, very, very low level. We don't notice it. But the black hole, what it does is it steals one of the partners. Doesn't matter which one. It steals one of the pair. And then the other one can't go back to nothing because it's not neutralized by its pair. It just sits there. So suddenly, this particle leaves and comes out of what seems like thin air, thin empty space, and that's the Hawking radiation. So it never originated inside the black hole. It was stolen.
So therefore,
but you're saying, however,
go ahead.
Wait.
Oh my God, this is insane.
It's insane.
Okay, wait.
That's why Hawking was so famous, because it was like insane.
Jana.
Yeah.
Jana. So let me make things nice, okay? 'Cause I can't have Chuck lose a brain gasket here because I need him for other shows. Okay. You said early at the beginning that the event horizon is not some wall. It's just space moves smoothly through and across the event horizon. You said that, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the curved space-time shape is made by the black hole, correct?
Yep.
So every place that feels this curvature is basically part of the footprint of this black hole on
That's
the
right.
fabric of space and time.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to make a Hawking particle pair outside of the event horizon from the gravitational energy of the black hole itself, why won't you allow me to say I am using the black hole identity to make this happen?
I
And if
will
I'm-
allow you to say that, but the only identity, the only feature from outside the black hole, this is why the whole featureless aspect is so profound. The only feature you can know about the black hole from outside because of the event horizon is its mass, its electric charge, and its spin, if it spins like the Earth. And those are the only three things you can know about the black hole. Any other information is occluded by the event horizon.
All right, so
So you will reflect in the radiation the mass, the spin, and the charge, but you won't reflect that Chuck fell in, that he
Right.
screamed, somebody's name. as
Okay,
he
so
went
I
into
can
his- all of that's gone.
I can reconstruct his particles, perhaps.
You can't reconstruct even his quantum. No features about his quantum numbers are knowable.
Wait, you're telling me Chuck has 80 gazillion neutrons made of quarks. Now, coming out the other side, will I get that same number of quarks that make neutrons?
So the hope is, okay, so if you just look at Hawking's original calculation, he said no, you won't.
You won't.
And that's what initiated the whole crisis.
So wait a minute.
Because
Wait,
quantum theorists said that's not possible.
So
And
the
so-
deal
so
is
there-
this.
yeah,
If what Neil just asked is the case and you're saying no, right? Then are we saying that there's a theft of information? Is there a loss of information?
That's what Hawking suggested. And then there became this big fight. So I would say right now, if you talk to people like Lenny Susskind, who has a great book called Black Hole Wars, where he talks about trying to make the universe safe from Stephen Hawking, they would say they figured out a way to encode the information, the Hawking radiation. So I would say right now, the Hawking eventually kind of started to say, okay, maybe you quantum guys are onto something. And maybe there's a sneaky way the black hole emits information, but it's no mean feat. And one of the craziest suggestions for how the black hole allows information to escape is to say that there are wormholes that connect the interior of the black hole to the exterior of the black hole. So the Hawking radiation, which never came from inside the black hole, is actually the same particle as lived in Chuck's body. And it was navigated by a wormhole to the outside.
So it basically tunnels out.
Oh,
basically.
Tunnels out.
Okay, so
come
it
on.
sounds like, Janet, it sounds like
That's
they
cheating.
had the same reaction that Chuck did.
You're
And they
cheating.
said, guys, we got to fix this. We can't live with
That's
this.
right.
It's a phenomenon. Let's
That's
make
right.
something up.
Right.
Let's pull something
That's
out of our
right.
ass.
Right.
Let's pull a
That's right.
wormhole out of our ass so that
That's
we
right.
don't have to blow our own gasket just the way
That's
Chuck
exactly what happened, but it's actually had really successful ideas. So then it gets even worse, because if you imagine all of these wormholes entangling every single one of Chuck's particles with a particle on the outside, that means that, Neil, you or your descendants could reconstruct from fire what happened to Chuck, what he said, what his last moments were like. But what also happens
we know
is
what
that
we know what I said. Here's what I said. That's what I said.
Oh shit! Yeah, we don't need wormholes to know that.
You don't even know, right?
It's still fun to hear. So the wormholes, what they end up doing is they create like stitching, quantum stitching. So imagine like embroidery. So imagine I embroider an image of a black hole. It's really made up of tons of stitches. And when I look closely, I realize that there is no black hole there. It's just made up of tons of stitches. And that's actually one of the ideas that's coming out that's most radical, is that the black hole is made by these quantum entangled wormholes.
Wow.
That is what the event horizon is. It is like cross-hatched quantum phenomena. And if I could see closely on the quantum level, I would realize the black hole emerges as an illusion out of quantum mechanics. And that might be true for all of gravity, that it's actually something that is fundamentally illusory and really is just a quantum phenomenon that we didn't recognize.
All this because they didn't want to lose information. What sore losers they are.
It's
We got to take another break.